Hola.
Hola, buenas.
¿Qué tal?
Buenas noches. No sé si nos escuchas.
Sí.
Perfectamente.
Mira, se le escucha desde la Nureva.
Susan, I'm not sure if I pronounce correctly your surname. Susan Jitkins.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Vale, pues si queréis empezamos ya a retransmitir y se va conectando la gente, ¿vale? Sonia, te informo de los participantes conforme se vayan conectando.
Okay, switch off the micro, everybody, because people will be will start to enter to the event.
Vale, pues estamos conectados ya.
Buenas tardes a todos. Vamos dando la bienvenida a todos los que os estáis conectando. Vamos a esperar unos minutitos para que vaya entrando el resto de gente y comenzamos enseguida. Bien, muy buenas tardes a todo el mundo. Vamos a comenzar este evento de Nureva y de Crambo. Quería daros las gracias a todos por estar compartiendo con nosotros esta siguiente hora, vuestro tiempo, y esperamos que todo lo que vais a descubrir acerca de Nureva y acerca de los servicios de Crambo sean de vuestro interés. El evento lo vamos a grabar, por lo tanto va a estar se está grabando ya de hecho, por lo tanto va a estar a vuestra disposición para que lo podáis consultar y también para la gente que se vaya incorporando un poco más tarde o que tenga que salir antes de la finalización de la reunión. Lo tendréis a vuestra disposición en breve. Y como ya sabéis, y también estaba anunciada en la presentación del mismo, las intervenciones del equipo de Nureva serán en inglés. El equipo de Crambo ayudará en la traducción de las preguntas que pueda haber en un momento determinado, para lo cual ya os aviso que por favor para las preguntas que os vayan surgiendo utilicéis la herramienta de preguntas y respuestas de Zoom y nosotros las podremos ir gestionando. Y poco más, vamos a comenzar. Mi nombre es Jesús Torres, soy el responsable de desarrollo de negocio de Crambo. También estoy liderando el equipo de soluciones corporativas y de educación. Y conmigo está José María Guedes, nuestro responsable de producto. José María es una persona con una amplia experiencia en el mundo audiovisual, con una especialización muy clara en el mundo del audio. Además que está al pie del cañón en estos momentos de transformación, ¿no? Después de esta pandemia estamos todos de acuerdo con que la gestión de espacios pues no va a ser la misma y José María está liderando en Crambo esas soluciones. Y con nosotros también están dos personas del equipo de Nureva. Está Susan Jitkin, que es la responsable internacional de ventas. Susan tiene más de 20 años de experiencia en puestos de ventas, desarrollo de estrategia, de marketing. Y también está James, y James igual tiene una amplia experiencia en el desarrollo de productos. James es el responsable de desarrollo de producto dentro de Nureva y él nos va a compartir también su visión y todo el line-up de Nureva, que ya os adelanto que van a ser muchas y muy buenas las novedades que nos trae este fabricante. Estaréis todos de acuerdo, y siempre lo digo, que en los últimos meses hemos tenido que vivir una de las mayores migraciones a nivel mundial de toda la historia. Decenas de miles, de cientos de personas hemos tenido que trasladarnos de nuestro habitual puesto de trabajo, de nuestro habitual puesto en unas aulas a las que acudíamos presencialmente todos los días. Automáticamente, casi de la noche al día, nos hemos tenido que mover y nos hemos tenido que mover a nuestras casas y hemos tenido que aprender en muchas ocasiones a trabajar en digital, a trabajar en híbrido, a trabajar conectados. Y afortunadamente la medición del éxito, tanto en las empresas como en las universidades, ha tenido mucho que ver en esa medición del éxito y en ese poder seguir trabajando y poder seguir ofreciendo clases de manera habitual, la tecnología. Para nosotros, para las empresas tecnológicas, para vosotros que estáis conectados hoy, ha sido un reto atender en tiempo y en forma a los clientes. Por un lado, intentando conseguir producto, que ha sido también uno de los retos, pero sobre todo, y lo más importante, es identificando cuáles son los productos que mejor se adaptan a las necesidades de nuestras empresas y de nuestras instituciones educativas. Y ese para nosotros en Crambo es uno de los principales retos, identificar los mejores productos, los que mejores se adaptan y los que al final no son transparentes. Para nosotros la tecnología tiene que ser transparente cuando está implementada dentro de cualquier espacio, un espacio de trabajo, un espacio de coworking, un espacio de aula. Y es justamente una de las cosas que nos ofrece Nureva. Nureva es un fabricante con un alto nivel de innovación en todos sus productos y una alta sencillez a la hora de implementarlos y a la hora de utilizarlos. Voy a dar la palabra a Susan Jitkin, que como os digo es la responsable internacional, la directora internacional de ventas, y Susan nos va a hablar del roadmap durante los próximos minutos. Os insisto, cualquier duda que vaya habiendo en la presentación de Susan, utilizar por favor el preguntas y respuestas y nosotros haremos también esa gestión con ellos. Good afternoon, Susan. Welcome.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
And thank you so much for your time, for your support, and of course for your commitment con Crambo and with our customer. It's your time, please. We are expected to view all the news in your roadmap.
Perfect. All right. Well, let me just share my screen here and let me know once you see the presentation. Do you see the presentation?
We do. Susan, you might want to go into full screen mode.
All righty. There you go.
Perfect.
Great. Thank you, and thanks for the introduction. I apologize. I truly wish I spoke Spanish, so you'll have to bear with me for the English. So just kind of going through an agenda, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our products, kind of the movement to hybrid models that we've been seeing, and a little bit about how we have successfully seen sales created around the world with Nureva products. So to start with, I wanted to just kind of focus on our platform. So with our platform, we have the HDL300, the dual HDL300, and the HDL200. And that is simply our hardware and our microphone and speaker bar. What really differentiates us is our microphone mist technology. So today, I'm going to focus a little bit on some of those technology advantages for microphone mist that really differentiate us from any other audio solution on the market. And then finally, in our platform is Nureva Console, which is, and I'll talk about this a little bit later, but it's allowing you to manage all the devices securely through a cloud-based platform. So just jumping into real quick the focus on the microphone mist technology. So I'm going to give you an example. So microphone mist, it's a technology with virtual microphones that really fill the space and can be seen anywhere. And I'm going to show you the space that I'm in. So what virtual microphones are is they're individual pickup points that simultaneously work so that you can be heard anywhere in the room. So for example, you can see, if you see my video, you see I'm in a room that is roughly 9 meters long by 6 meters wide. And really the value of our microphone mist technology with the virtual microphones is there's always one nearby, and they're simultaneously listening for my voice or a human voice. So no matter if I'm walking around the room or if I'm facing, say, a glass wall, if I'm facing away from the HDL300 and facing a glass wall, you should hear my voice equally as well, because there's always a virtual microphone near me. So acoustically, this is actually a really difficult room. You can see it has glass walls. It has vents for air conditioning and heating, which you need the heating in Canada. And it also has projectors on the side wall there. So there's lots of noise here. And what our technology does is it allows the virtual microphone to be close to me wherever I am, so that it really truly picks up and focuses on my voice for that remote experience. Other things that we think of with our, and sorry, I'll just show a quick comparison when you look at other technology on the marketplace. There's the omnidirectional and there's the beamforming. So typically to get the full coverage as you do with a microphone mist, you need to continually add more microphones in those rooms where the beamforming or omnidirectional microphones are, or you need to reprogram. So that the one key difference with HDL300 is our microphone mist that really allows you to be heard no matter where you are in the space. I'm going to talk about a couple advantages that go with our technology. So we have a really unique, powerful processing system that allows for us to do some unique things with our technology. So not only do we have the virtual microphones, but we also have what we call intelligent sound targeting. And what that is we manage that in a unique way. So it takes persistent background noises that are in the room. As I mentioned, this room is quite noisy with the projectors, the fan, and the ambient noise. So it takes those persistent sounds And our microphone system does not target those sounds. So it focuses only on the voices and it eliminates those persistent sounds. We also, with our technology, can do positional-based gain control. So another way to think of this is it focuses on a human's natural voice versus distractive sounds. So for example, in a meeting space or a classroom, you often have rustling of papers or, you know, typing on a typewriter, typing on a keyboard. So for example, someone could be typing on a keyboard, and if I'm talking at the same time, the microphone mist will focus on my voice versus the distractive noises of a keyboard or rustling of papers. Another key thing is continuous auto calibration. And really where it has come up is when people are starting to look at switching to hybrid models. They feel like they're going to have flexibility in their spaces. So their furniture may be adjusted on a regular basis. They may be more in an open area, in an open space, but it's never the same acoustic profile. So the ability for Nureva products to continuously auto-calibrate, which means it will continually scan the room and provide the best pickup for the acoustic profile of that room. So no matter what changes I make, there's no programming or, you know, reprogramming of pickup zones. It automatically happens. Another unique feature that comes with our technology is being able to have more than one person speak at the same time and hear that naturally from the remote user. So typically when 2 or 3 people are talking at the same time in a meeting room, you often can hear clipping. What our technology does is the virtual microphones are continually listening. So the individual pickup points are always listening. And if there is 3 people at the same time, it simultaneously transitions from one virtual microphone to the other. And the remote participant hears that as if it was a natural conversation happening in the space versus cutting in and out of the voices. So I'm gonna pause there and just ask if there's any questions, because this is I feel a really important differentiator of our technology versus other technology that's on the market. No questions. Okay. Hopefully that gave you a good overview of our technology. I want to talk a little bit also about the hardware. So the microphone, speaker, and pickup bar. So we have really a product that fits any room size. And this is somewhat unique because we can really scale for a company that has small rooms, medium, and large. Our technology also has speakers built in. So each Nureva product has 2 20-watt speakers. So today, if you were to speak, I would be hearing you through the speakers in the HDL 300. We have recommended space sizes for these systems. So our HDL 300 is recommended up to 7 meters by 7 meters. But sometimes you can go a little bit bigger depending on the acoustic profile of the room. Our HDL 200 is really optimum up to 5 meter by 5 meter spaces. And then our dual is about 15 meters by 9 meters is where it's optimal. We have had these products in a little bit larger spaces that push the recommended size. It really depends on what the room is designed like, and if it has a lot of reverberation, then you may need to stick to some of the sizes that we recommend. But if it's acoustically a really good room, you can look at using them in rooms that are a little bit larger than what's recommended. Touching on the Nureva console client and the cloud really quickly, this is a device that really is on your PC in the room and allows you to manage the device and make sure that you have the firmware and everything upgraded. It also allows you to manage all the devices remotely from a secure cloud-based platform. It'll give you information as to the health check of the system. So is it running? Is it working? Is it plugged in? Is everything working as it should? You'll have an indication if it's not. We're also looking to support more functionalities through that, through kind of room analytics, and James will talk a little bit more about that. But what we also have is an API and like a developer kit available. And so many of our customers want to integrate different control systems or be able to manage the devices through a control system like Crestron, Extron. So we have an API available that will allow scripting so that you can also use different control systems to manage the volume and control the room technology. It's also a very simple installation, and we've done this for a couple reasons. We really see a lot of audio systems that need to scale, so they need to be quickly deployed in many rooms. So we always know that audio is never the only technology in the room. You're integrating it with many other technologies as far as a display at the front of the room, a camera, other things. So the simpler we can make it to install and have the system up and running, the easier to make sure the full solution is organized and running for your customers, and you can quickly get as many rooms done as possible. So really, we've had comments that it's been up and running in less than 30 minutes and then able to integrate with the other technology. The other thing that we wanted to make really simple with our installation is the flexibility of it. So it doesn't really matter where it is in the room. So you see in my room, it's on the side wall. It could be on the front. It could be at the back. We're flexible, and we do that because we know that it's not always the best spot to put it at the very front of the room. So that is part of the reason also why we've chosen not to put a camera in our technology, because you want to make sure the camera is in the optimal spot for the room. Another thing that Nureva really focuses on is understanding what else is needed in the room to be effective for a full solution. So we really have focused on integration and how we can integrate with all the other technology that you use and that you recommend. Right now we are team certified. So that was a big thing that happened for Nureva HDL 300 at the end of last year. We're recommended by Zoom, we're Barco, ClickShare certified. We also integrate very well with all the other products that you see on the screen and many more. We really focus on making sure that we have easy integration and compatibility with all the products that you would use. I'm just going to talk a little bit about what we're seeing in the marketplace today with hybrid models. So in the corporate market, as people are getting vaccinated, we're starting to see more people going back into the workplace. Maybe they go in 3 days and they're at home 2. But we're definitely starting to see some more engagement in, we need to have some people will be in the office, but there'll always be remote participants. So moving forward, I think it's safe to say that almost every meeting will have a remote participant that's needed. And we've really seen an interest in both meeting rooms and specifically training rooms. The training companies have almost redefined their business strategy, where they realize that they have to provide remote participants a learning experience because they're not going to always be able to get everyone into one space. So a good example of this was Flight Safety, who transitioned very quickly when they realized they needed to go to a hybrid model. And they installed over 600 rooms globally to have Nureva audio systems so that their remote participants could get the same experience as if they were in the room. We've also seen a huge shift and trend towards hybrid learning in education, so specifically higher education. And this also is something that we've been talking to a lot of universities and understanding that they're really looking for a switch in the way that their business model is as well. They are going to look at continually having a model that actually supports a remote student. And many of these universities, many are private, but many need to make sure that that remote learner has the exact same education quality experience that somebody in a classroom would have. So the importance of making sure that the audio and many other technology in the room is effective and engaging for the remote user, the remote participant or learner, is really important, and it's on our customers' minds right now. And as we've talked to them, the things that we've really heard is that one thing that's really important for a hybrid model is the full room pickup. So being able to make sure that an instructor or anyone in the meeting room, as they walk around, they can work naturally as they would in a standard meeting or in a classroom. So if I were to normally walk up and work on an interactive whiteboard, I would want the pickup to be really good for my remote participants here, as well as if somebody was over there asking a question. So the power of microphone pickup everywhere in the room is really important. The other thing that people have commented on is the continuous auto calibration. So the ability for you to be heard, and if things change, if the design of the room changes, you'll always be heard. And also just simplicity, walk up and use. They want the technology in the room to be low touch. So those are some of the things we're hearing about when people are talking about moving to these hybrid models and the important things to them. So my last slide quickly, I'm just going to tell you really quick. We have some demo rooms, and Crambo has demo rooms as well. The number one effective way to show your customers about the technology is have them have a demo. So we do have a bookable calendar on our website. You can see to the right there. And we do support demos, but Crambo does as well. I'm happy to help. I work a lot with Jose to help drive demos. But if I leave you with anything today, I would like to leave you with our technology advantages and anyhow you can push for a remote demo so they can hear the technology. That is the best way to get things going. So I'm going to pass it back now. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them, or we can answer them at the end of the session.
Okay, Susan, thank you so much for your presentation. No question for the moment. En cualquier caso, sí, creo que entró una. Okay, Susan, one question from Jordi Davi. Must this solution be located in the walls, close to the ceiling, or always on top? The question is about where you must to locate the Nureva wall.
The Nureva Audio HDL 300, the 300 and the 200 can be located differently. So the 200 can be below or above. But the reality is there are some guidelines where it does need to be a certain height, but it can be anywhere on the side wall, the front wall, really anywhere, but we can send you the guidelines as far as the height restriction.
Yeah. This is James. The HDL 300 always performs best when it's mounted higher on the wall. And that's part of our setup instructions.
The 200 has some flexibility though. Right. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, James. Bueno, yo creo que entiendo que se habrá entendido bien con el soporte de la presentación de Susan, cuál es la propuesta de valor de Nureva, cuál es esa capaz integración con muchísimas plataformas y con muchísimos sistemas y la facilidad de uso que yo creo que son elementos clave, ¿no? A la hora también de implementar soluciones, ¿no? Bien, nos toca hablar un poco sobre algunos de los casos de éxito que durante estos meses hemos desarrollado. Nosotros en la implementación de lo que llamamos el modelo high-flex, modelo híbrido, modelo de aula conectada o de espacio de trabajo conectado, hemos intentado resolver en todo momento 4 aspectos fundamentales. El primero, lógicamente, el del vídeo, un vídeo de calidad, un vídeo que permita a las personas que están fuera del espacio de trabajo y también los que están dentro y tienen que conectar con otras personas que tengan la mejor y la mayor integración posible. Por otro lado, cuestiones relacionadas con el audio, que son las que nos ocupan hoy. Y es que cada vez cuando hemos estado hablando con universidades, cuando hemos estado hablando con clientes corporativos, con vuestros clientes, nos hemos dado cuenta que las clases magistrales tienen mucha importancia, pero también la participación de los alumnos es clave, y no solo en aulas que muchas veces se dan aulas tradicionales en las que está el profesor enfrente y el resto de los alumnos, pero cada vez hay más espacios que son más flexibles, ¿no? Y por lo tanto, cuando hemos presentado las soluciones de Nureva, lógicamente a los clientes pues les han encantado, ¿no? Y ahora también un poco os contará José María Guede cómo han sido esos procesos de prescripción, cómo han sido esos procesos en los que Crambo se ha involucrado con vosotros y con otros clientes a la hora de desarrollar los proyectos. Bueno, y otros 2 aspectos fundamentales, lógicamente el de la colaboración, el de la interacción entre todos los participantes en esas aulas, con esas reuniones, y sobre todo la interoperabilidad y la usabilidad. Susan antes ha hablado de un pool de plataformas que cada vez están más democratizadas y más accesibles. Cada universidad, cada empresa utiliza una totalmente distinta, y nos hemos asegurado siempre que los productos que hemos propuesto pues lógicamente permitan trabajar con todas esas plataformas y que además sean muy sencillas de usar, ¿no? Y quiero incidir en esa parte porque yo creo que es importante. Durante estos últimos meses con nuestros partners hemos montado proyectos en más de 40 universidades, en torno a unas 2.000 aulas equipadas con alguno de estos productos que os comentaba antes, y muchas de ellas, y han sido más de 1.000 las que hemos montado con productos de Nureva. Claro, todos pensaréis que esto de la pandemia afortunadamente lo estamos superando. El objetivo de muchas de estas universidades es que los alumnos vuelvan a las aulas, que todo sea presencial. También en colegios, incluso también en el ámbito corporativo. Estamos escuchando noticias en las que las empresas quieren que los trabajadores volvamos también a nuestras oficinas. Pero sobre todo en el ámbito universitario, a la hora de implementar aulas híbridas y sobre todo en ese mundo universitario privado, lo que se está viendo es una oportunidad de desarrollo de negocio. La capacidad de implementar este tipo de tecnologías lo que nos está permitiendo es que podemos llegar a un número más alto de alumnos, y ya esos alumnos no tienen que ser de nuestro entorno, de nuestra ciudad o de nuestro país, que se vengan a estudiar a Barcelona, a Madrid o a cualquier otro entorno. Pueden ser alumnos de cualquier parte del mundo que con una buena tecnología y con unos buenos medios, como los que estamos viendo ahí, y con otros elementos, como digo, de colaboración o de vídeo, pueden estar también sintiéndose y siendo parte de esa universidad. Esto es, al final, aparece una formación online que ya aparecía, pero de una manera muy, muy síncrona y de una manera muy integrada con los grados presenciales, ¿no? Y esta es la visión que han compartido muchas universidades, que siguen compartiendo muchas universidades y con las que hemos podido, como os digo, trabajar. Yo he querido resaltar hoy aquí tres casos de ellas. Una universidad, la primera, que está en Barcelona, que es Universidad Ramon Llull, La Salle, más conocida por todos. Ellos han dotado de tecnología híbrida en lo que el proyecto llaman Smart Campus a 70 aulas de 2 de sus campus. Me consta que ya están ampliando proyecto y donde, como veis, Nureva, y también atiende un poco ahí a la pregunta que había sobre la instalación, está presente en todas esas aulas, en este caso el modelo 300. Por otro lado, y otra universidad, en este caso de Madrid, también con 3 campus universitarios urbanos en la zona de Princesa, es la Universidad Nebrija. En este caso tenemos que actualizar esos datos, porque son ya más de 100 aulas las que han montado esta universidad, y donde también ha optado por tecnología, en este caso HDL 200 y 300. En este caso Nebrija tenía espacios más reducidos donde la barra pequeñita, la pequeña de todas las soluciones, se adaptaba perfectamente a lo que necesitaba la universidad, y ya os digo que han mezclado los dos modelos. Y por último, y ya por reseñar también otro ejemplo de una universidad, en este caso internacional, porque hemos dotado sus campus de España y Portugal, España en Madrid, Valencia y las Islas Canarias, y en Portugal en Oporto y Lisboa. Es universidad europea, en donde han implementado más de 400 aulas con tecnología HiFlex, donde también, como han dotado laboratorios y han dotado también algunas aulas más pequeñas, también han optado por un mix de los dos modelos. Bien, hasta aquí un poco estos pequeños casos de éxito locales. Los tenemos documentados, tenemos vídeos, tenemos información, estamos a vuestra entera disposición para mandaros más detalles, o si queréis conocer más detalles, por supuesto, poderlos compartir con vosotros. Me gustaría también que Susan nos hablara brevemente de 2 o 3 casos internacionales, porque yo creo que también es relevante que conozcamos cómo se están moviendo tanto en el ámbito corporativo como en el ámbito universitario a nivel internacional. Susan, may you share with us some case studies, international case studies, please? Switch on your micro.
Apologize for that.
Right, right.
All right. Thank
Yes.
you. I'll just go through a couple business applications that we've seen over the last 12 months. One of them being Kellogg's. So Kellogg's, one of their main drivers for choosing their technology was that it must be team certified. So with that, Nureva was one of the technologies that they tested for audio. And what they really liked most about our technology was the auto calibration, so that no matter the changes they did to the rooms, they would always have the pickup, and also the flexibility, because some of their rooms had high ceilings and some had low. So they couldn't look at a ceiling mount, and they did not want anything on the table. So they liked the flexibility of where to mount it. Another one is BASF, which is one of the world's largest chemical companies. So they were very much a legacy Cisco video conferencing company. And once they kind of realized that they needed to move to a hybrid model, they would need a lot of meeting rooms with a lot of remote participants participating in meetings. They switched to Cisco WebEx, and they tested a number of different technologies that worked well with WebEx. Nureva was one that they chose, so their internal IT department did all of that testing, and they have okayed and chosen Nureva audio systems to be one of their audio devices they use for meeting rooms. So now they're starting to roll out as they retrofit meeting rooms at BASF across the country. That's just quickly 2 examples in the corporate world.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hay algo que no he dicho sobre los casos de éxito, podríamos hablar, es sobre Susan está hablando justo sobre un poco las plataformas de colaboración. En el caso de La Salle, Ramón Llull utilizan Zoom Rooms. En el caso tanto de Nebrija como de Universidad Europea están utilizando Blackboard Collaborate. pero también estaban mezclando con Microsoft Teams. O sea, al final estamos viendo que cada universidad pues, utiliza diferentes tecnologías y nuestro papel, creo que el de todos los que estamos aquí conectados, pues tiene que ser el de adaptarnos a las herramientas de aprendizaje que decida utilizar cada corporación, sea universitaria o sea una empresa, ¿no? Y justo para eso le quiero dar también paso a José María Guede, porque yo creo que José nos quería hablar justamente hoy también de cómo trabajamos en Crambo, cómo trabajamos este tipo de proyectos y cuáles son los servicios y el valor añadido que aportamos a nuestros clientes. José,
Hola, buenas tardes a todos. Déjame compartir la pantalla. Creo que ya lo estoy haciendo. Si no termino de romperlo. Y bueno, haré una presentación breve, dado que esto se está extendiendo un poquito más de la cuenta, y la parte más importante que nos interesa a todos creo que es la siguiente presentación, que va a ser de, con lo cual intentaré ser lo más breve posible. En definitiva, lo que quiero intentar es lanzar el mensaje y que quede claro cómo os podemos ayudar desde una empresa como Crambo. Somos un mayorista de valor añadido que nos diferencia de cualquier otra mayorista que pueda haber en el mercado. En la parte de preventa siempre nos hemos caracterizado por tener un grupo de ingeniería con el que os podemos dar soporte desde el proyecto más sencillo que se os pueda ocurrir hasta el más complejo. Uno de los casos, bueno, varios de los casos que ha estado poniendo Jesús sobre la mesa, como puede ser una universidad europea, bueno, pues ha requerido de un soporte y de una ingeniería que hemos sido capaces de dar desde Crambo a el distribuidor. En lo que respecta también al soporte para lo que es intentar conseguir operaciones, intentar cerrar ventas. Podemos facilitaros, tanto por nuestra parte como con la ayuda de nuestro socio Nureva, el poder daros soporte bien para demostraciones online o para demostraciones presenciales en casa del cliente final. Aquí podéis ver, bueno, son unas imágenes de los kit demos que tenemos tanto de HDD 300 como de HDD 200. Hemos hecho una inversión importante en este parque de equipos demo y resaltar que estamos teniendo muy buenos resultados. El ratio de demostración-venta ante el cliente final está siendo realmente alto. Algo que también se ha estado trabajando durante los últimos meses es el lanzamiento de nuestra nueva página web, en la cual podéis encontrar y vais a tener disponible siempre información las 24 horas del día, los 7 días de la semana. No se ha terminado todavía, insisto, es un trabajo impro el que se ha puesto en marcha y bueno, desde aquí también quiero felicitar a las personas que están involucradas en este trabajo. A día de hoy lo único que puedo hacer es invitaros a que visitéis nuestra página web. También aquí podéis ver en esta imagen que está de fondo, se ha creado un espacio exclusivo para un partner tan estratégico para nosotros como es Nureva. Y que decir tiene que el respaldo directo que tenemos de Nureva y sirva como muestra este webinar en el que bueno, estamos teniendo la colaboración tanto de la directora de ventas internacional Susan como el máximo responsable de producto James. Y y ya más local, más a nivel local, este sí es un trabajo que hemos iniciado desde hace 3 meses, estamos atendiendo formaciones bajo demanda, bien sea a vosotros como integradores, como distribuidores o en un momento dado ante una implementación grande, ante un cliente que pueda tener un parque de equipos importante, bueno, pues tenemos la capacidad de poder ofrecer esa formación al cliente final. Importante para todos, ya una vez que hemos conseguido convencer a ese cliente de todas las bondades que tiene el producto, es el poder entregarlo. A día de hoy también puedo decir con total franqueza y con toda claridad que no tenemos problemas de disponibilidad de producto. Tenemos siempre en stock. Si en un momento puntual pudiera ser que no hubiera stock, estamos reponiendo stock en un plazo máximo de 7 o 10 días. Y por último, también contar con nosotros para pues cualquier tipo de soporte en la puesta de marcha. Y no me refiero solo al producto concreto de Nureva en sí, que cuando lo vayáis experimentando veréis que, como ha comentado antes Susan, la instalación y la puesta en marcha de lo que es el sistema de Nureva, ese setup inicial es extremadamente fácil, es extremadamente sencillo, que es algo que nos diferencia respecto a la competencia. Entro más a esa ayuda que podéis necesitar para ese sistema complejo que se pueda implantar en estas soluciones. Por mi parte, no voy a extenderme más y voy a dar paso a James. James, is your time? Thank you. James,
Okay, thanks, Jose. Let me share my screen. I think we're a little tight on time, so I'm going to skip forward a little bit here. All right. Susan already talked about what our products do and how they benefit our customers. Let's talk a bit about how the world's changing with COVID. The past year has been really difficult for everyone, and we've been talking with our customers about how the pandemic has changed the way they're thinking about office space, especially now that they're starting to return to the office. And the consensus seems to be that the office space is changing. It's not a place now where people go in to work every day in cubicles. Our customers seem to be saying that, hey, they're going to be offering their employees flexibility in when they come into the office and when they work from home. And so really, they see their office spaces changing from being a place where people go in to work every day to being a place where people go in specifically to collaborate. If you're going to go and work in a cubicle, you might as well work from home. People are going to go into the office to meet face-to-face, to collaborate in teams and to spur innovation. And so the big trends we're seeing here is that our customers probably won't need quite as much office space going forward as they needed before COVID, but the office space they do have will be more dedicated towards collaboration. And specifically, there's a greater focus on larger, more flexible meeting spaces where you can get more people in and where spaces that you can use in a number of different ways. And then the other common theme with talking to all of our customers is that every collaboration space will have to be equipped with technology that supports unified communications, that can support remote participants. There will always be remote participants in meetings going forward. And then finally, the need for flexible spaces. Spaces will need to be reconfigured depending on how they're used and social distancing guidelines. And these are all great opportunities for Nureva audio conferencing products. Our products are uniquely suited to covering large collaboration spaces, spaces that are flexible, and they're very scalable. So organizations can very easily equip large numbers of spaces in a short amount of time with Nureva audio conferencing solutions. So the areas that we're focusing on in our roadmap going forward relate to these new kinds of office spaces that our customers are telling us about. So, you know, we see upgrading medium and large meeting rooms with audio conferencing equipment and providing that flexibility. We see enabling reconfigured open office spaces. So in this picture you see here on the right, this is an example from a customer where they decided to tear out all of their cubicles and convert that open office space into smaller, informal collaboration spaces. And the HDL200 mounted on a mobile cart is a really effective solution for that type of scenario. And then, of course, education. Susan and Jesus have already covered the opportunities here. We see really enormous shifts happening certainly in higher ed, but also K-12 as well. And again, the HDL 300 is really well suited for hybrid learning. The HDL 300 can be mounted on the wall. It picks up the entire class. Susan mentioned the importance of full classroom pickup. And the two specific benefits that provides for hybrid learning, number one, the remote students feel part of the class. They're not just hearing the teacher or the instructor, they can hear their fellow classmates in the class. So for class discussions, questions, the remote participants are equal participants in those types of learning sessions. The other big benefit is that our technology provides freedom of movement to teachers or instructors. They're not tethered to a podium. They don't have to stay near their laptops so their voices are picked up. They are free to move about the entire classroom. And again, the remote students will always hear them. So let's talk about some new features that we have developed to support these new scenarios. The first one is specific to the education environment. It's called Classroom Mode, and it's actually already live. You can enable this mode through Nureva Console, and what it does is it automatically adjusts the treble and bass settings of our audio solutions to improve or increase the volume output. Our default settings for our products are really tuned to meeting rooms where they tend to be quieter. Classrooms tend to be noisier, and you need a bit more speaker volume to make sure that all the students can hear. So when you set this classroom mode, very quickly reconfigures the audio settings, and it makes a big improvement to the volume output, about 6 decibels. Another really big feature that we're working on is what we call voice amplification mode. This is a new mode for the auxiliary input jack on the HDL 300 Connect module. And when you enable this mode, it allows you to connect a wireless microphone. And so when a teacher or instructor is wearing the wireless headset, their voice gets amplified through the HDL 300 speakers, which makes it easier for the students in the classroom to hear the teacher or instructor. And it also saves voice strain for the teacher instructor. They no longer have to yell or speak in a loud voice to be heard. Yeah, this has been a big request from a lot of our education customers. And really what makes this feature unique, it's not just about voice amplification, it's the fact that our solution can do voice amplification at the same time as we can enable hybrid learning with full classroom pickup. And I haven't been able to find a solution on the market that can do both voice amplification and full classroom pickup for hybrid learning at the same time. So this is a unique high-value feature that we can offer to our education customers. This also can be used with lecture capture systems. So again, the way it works is you connect a wireless microphone to the HDL300. The teacher wears the headset microphone, and the teacher's voice is amplified to the students in the room. So yeah, the solution will work with third-party wireless headsets. When we fully launch this feature, we will probably be providing a list of supported wireless headset microphones. One thing to note here, though, is that this feature only works with headset microphones. It does not work well with lapel microphones or pendant microphones. Those types of microphones tend to pick up too much of the room noise, and it is not as effective. So we are currently in a controlled beta phase. We're setting up 4 classrooms, 2 of them at universities and 2 of them at K-12 schools, to test this feature in real classroom scenarios. So that's underway right now. Pending the results of this controlled beta, we'll be moving to an open beta for this feature in June. And then general availability is planned for September. All right, let's move on to Nureva Console. So Susan mentioned that Nureva's console is great for managing large deployments of Nureva audio solutions, and we're making it even better. So first off, you'll see, even if you look in Nureva Console now, we now have a device dashboard that quickly shows IT managers how many devices they have enrolled and which ones are all good to go and online and which ones might need some attention. We'll also be adding email alerts. So an IT manager can set it up so that if there is a problem in a room, the system will automatically send them an email, and it will also send weekly summaries showing them the status of all of their audio devices. That will be coming in July. So another thing we're going to be adding to Nureva Console is something we call room insights. So our audio conferencing solutions can actually collect a lot of information about a room and a space. Things like, how often is the room used for conferencing, and even information about the acoustics of the room. An example of that is background noise. So you'll see this example of the interface on the right. It is showing the average background noise of the room. And so an IT manager will be able to look at Nureva Console and see usage patterns, acoustic information about the room. And this can help an IT manager or a facilities manager make important decisions about how the rooms are used and deployed and configured. And again, this will be available in July. So yeah, putting it all together, the power of these data insights and the ability to pull this information of the room, it means that IT managers can make intelligent decisions about how the rooms are configured. So a quick example here is that an IT manager could look at their dashboard or even get an alert email saying, hey, in this classroom, the background noise is above acceptable levels. The IT manager could then go and decide to set classroom mode to increase the speaker output to ensure that speakers are heard. Or the IT manager might even decide that they need voice amplification in that room to overcome the background noise and enable that feature and add a wireless microphone to the room. And bottom line, at the end of that, the students and instructors are going to get a better experience, and that will lead to repeat purchases. So we think that what we're building here creates a really holistic solution for IT managers, so that they can understand how their systems are working and optimize the experience, and that will lead to further scale and sales. And I'm sorry I rushed through this pretty quickly, but that's it. Are there any questions?
Any questions from? No, there is no any question. Thank you, James.
You're welcome. Thank you for your time.
Vamos a cerrar la sesión. La va a cerrar mi compañera Sonia.
Sí, simplemente daros las gracias a todos los participantes en este webinar. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, James, for your time. Gracias también a José y a Jesús también por su tiempo y a nuestro compañero Javier Benítez que está en los mandos. Y simplemente comentaros cualquier duda que tengáis, cualquier cuestión que queráis solicitarnos más información, nos tenéis a nuestra disposición, con todos los recursos que os ha comentado nuestro compañero José, para que, bueno, pues todos los proyectos que queráis poner en marcha pues se hagan realidad. Así que muchísimas gracias. Si no tenéis ninguna pregunta más, pues nos despedimos. Y en breve pues, también contactaremos con vosotros pues, para ofreceros más información y sobre todo pues, profundizar un poquito más quizás en todas las cuestiones que os hemos contado en esta hora. Desde luego ha sido un placer y lo dicho, cuidaros muchísimo, feliz fin de semana y hasta la próxima. Muchas gracias. Bye.
Thank you, James. Susan, bye.
Thanks everyone.
¿Hemos hecho el tiempo?